So it is not every day that you get the chance to chat to a cartoon character, but today I am here with Richard J. Hunt, who is playing Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob the Musical that is coming to the Manchester Opera House from the 16th to the 21st of May. Now, Richard is no stranger to musical theatre. He has done so much, from Jesus Christ Superstar to Joseph, Mac and Mabel, Company, loads of Les Mis concerts. But he has also produced shows such as West End at the Lantern. He has directed, he's been a casting director. He's a founding member of That's Life, which is a swing review show. And yeah, I have no idea how you fit it all in, Richard. Thank you so much for squeezing
Well, I've been going
today.
a little while now, so.
I know, but there's so much that you do. You've got this whole wealth, so thank you. So SpongeBob, right? I'm going to be honest. When I first heard that SpongeBob was being turned into a musical and that it was about a Bikini Bottom that erupts, I kind of thought that I needed to stay off the caffeine a little bit. But just to clarify, Bikini Bottom is the town where SpongeBob and all his pals live. It's a volcano that's going to erupt. And the story kind of follows this idea as to how all these different characters kind of deal with this impending doom. So can you fill us in on what it is that this story is about?
It's about a community. It's about a community coming together and eventually coming together. We've got quite a few jokes that kind of relate to the pandemic and that sort of thing, because it's a very similar situation where everyone just kind of panics and doesn't quite know what to do. But then it's bringing that sense of community back together and realizing that life isn't so bad and let's have a good old laugh.
Yeah, so it's got all of, because obviously SpongeBob is known for having heart. It's got heart. He's an optimist, and it's about the value of friendship and just trying to do the right thing. So is all of that kind of in there still? Is it transferred?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, definitely. I mean, like you say, he's the eternal optimist, and that's one thing I would say that this show definitely has is huge amounts of heart in spade loads, and I think that's what it brings across to the audiences that we've had so far is that it's just bringing it makes you feel so warm inside. Even us on stage, we get to a point and we get really emotional because it's like, oh gosh, this could be life.
If only, yeah. So you're playing Mr. Krabs. So he's SpongeBob's boss. He owns this restaurant, and we know that he is a really, really good father to Pearl. He'd do anything for her. But he's also known for being a little bit greedy with his money sometimes, and he actually uses the impending doom as a bit of a profiteer moment, maybe.
Yes, he does. That's the thing of the downfall, I would say, is that he does exploit the poor people of Bikini Bottom. But he does, like you say, he loves Pearl a lot, but he loves his money more. But that all changes by the end. But yeah, he's a great character, and he's really good fun. I love playing him. Just because like you say, he loves Pearl, and he loves what he does, but he also has that greediness, which it's quite hard. It was quite hard during rehearsals and stuff to get it to a place where you don't want to hate him because he's a nice guy. He just loves money.
Well, I was going to say, because there's this whole debate within the SpongeBob community as to whether Mr. Krabs is a good guy or a bad guy, because you see him as this family person where, yeah, he's good, but then there's the money side. So we've got Mr. Krabs here right now. Let's end the debate. Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
He's a good guy.
Yes, he is. He's a good guy. So we've obviously got this whole other wealth of all the characters, all the favourites there. We've got SpongeBob and Patrick, Squidward, Plankton, Pearl that we've mentioned. We've got them all there. So obviously, aside from Mr. Krabs, because we're all team Mr. Krabs now, do you have another favourite character, just from like a fan viewpoint?
For me, personally, I love Mrs. Puff.
Ah.
And our gorgeous Eloise Davies, who plays Mrs. Puff in our show, is a laugh a minute. She just kills me all the way through rehearsals. She's just brilliant, and she's got this wonderful, wonderful character. And I think she'll be a real fan favorite.
Oh, it's very exciting, very exciting. So the other big question then is, obviously we've got a cartoon, we're putting it on stage. I mean, a cartoon on stage. So first of all, costume wise, how are we doing this? Because I believe it's actually not sort of necessarily what people would expect, like not the big sort of theme park character costume.
Yeah, it's not like what we call skin work.
Yeah.
It's it's not the sort of thing you'd see in like Disneyland or anything like that. They have been humanized in a way, but they still have their gorgeous qualities from the cartoon. Our incredible costume designer, Sarah, she has made these beautiful costumes, and they're just honestly, I look at us every day and I just go, wow, we look bloody great. She's done a great job, and like and she's used kind of recycled stuff as well, like Mrs. Puff's petticoat, she's got all like Sainsbury's bags.
Wow.
And that sort of thing. And in our Miss Mare's wig, she's got Coke cans through it. It's all been very cleverly designed in that way to kind of, obviously, the kind of the waste that is going into the ocean is a big thing, and we do highlight that throughout the show. And I just think it's just so clever to have a completely like new design, but to have the qualities of the characters as well, that you can see, you can instantly go, oh, that's Patrick, that's so and so, that's Sandy, and like Sandy, she's got this great kind of all-in-one suit, but obviously she has in the cartoon she has the what do you call that?
Like it's like a bonnet.
It's like a spaceman's thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always like, yeah. Well, she's got like a bonnet, and it just gives it that little. And you go, oh, that's so clever. I would never have thought of that, but that's so clever. So yeah,
and it's going to look colour-wise brilliant. And obviously, the other question is the set. How are we transported into the ocean? How like?
Well, we have. Well, I mean, we've got a gorgeous floor which looks like the bottom. Like, when you look into a swimming pool, it's like that, and it looks wonderful, especially under all the lighting and stuff. It looks fantastic. And then at the back of the stage, where our gorgeous Electric Skates, who are also our band, it's like a sunken ship. Someone said recently, it was like anything goes if it's sunk. And again, a really clever idea. I'd never have thought of that. Yeah. And it just works. It just frames the show really well, and it does give you that thing of, oh, we are underwater and that sort of thing. We've got great video screens all over, and we've got some wonderful projections and stuff. So
very immersive. It sounds, like you say, it just sounds so clever and brilliant, and
it's so clever and brilliant, and it's just so vibrant. I think, and like you look at all the colours throughout the show, and it's there's never a dull moment.
Yeah. Well, another thing that's going to make it never a dull moment is the music, because this is another clever, unique approach. So you've got existing songs like from the likes of Bowie, for goodness sake, but then it's
who knew?
Right, and it's like this pick and mix approach of, do you know what? Right, let's go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We'll have one from them. We'll have one from them. Well, you've got like Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, and Cyndi Lauper, John Legend, and Panic at the Disco. Is the soundtrack as impressive as it sounds? And can you tell who's written what song?
Yeah, it's just it's like no other show that I've ever done. Yeah. Musically, because there are so many different genres and so many, and again, just wonderful music. Like, did you say what was my favourite song?
I said, can you tell? Well, yeah. What's your favourite? But can you tell like which artist has written which song? Like, say, because there's so many different flavours.
I would say so. Yeah. Although there is one song which when I was like, I wonder who wrote that, and I looked and I was like, no, I'd never have thought that. But I'll let you guess if you come and see it.
Okay.
But I would say my favourite song is, well, apart from my own, is Simple Sponge, which is I will tell you because you come and see it. But it's Panic at the Disco wrote that one.
Okay.
And Lewis, wonderful SpongeBob, just sings it so beautifully, and it's a real, what I call banger.
I was going to say some bangers in there. We love it.
Yeah.
And the show, obviously, people go, "Oh, SpongeBob, it's a cartoon." Yes, it's for children, but actually, it's from. Obviously, I've not seen it yet, but from what I've been hearing about it, it's just for everybody because of all of the joy and the messages. But also, you've got like some more serious messages in there, such as the prejudice and the racism through the Sandy storyline. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is. Like I said, we have all different kinds of messages, and you know, the whole kind of the Sandy situation with her being a mammal and that sort of thing, and that does play into like kind of racial things, and then at the end, obviously, we all come together, and Sandy's still like, I think I'm going to leave, still, and we're like, no, please don't leave because we don't want you to leave. Because everyone, as it says on the thing, all are welcome in Bikini Bottom, and I think that's a really wonderful message for anyone. Yeah. I think it's such a great message, and like you say, yeah, people do go. I think that's what a lot of people think with the show is that, oh, it's a cartoon, oh, it's going to be for kids. It's really not. It's for the whole family because there's some great kids jokes. There's some wonderful. Adult jokes, which obviously go to the kids' heads.
Yeah.
But it's a from 9 to 90. I think you would just sit there and just love it. I think it's got such an appeal. So I would recommend it. Like I say, don't just think it's a kids show. Yeah. It's a really weird hybrid of a show. Because it's kind of a kids show, but it's not at all. It's still a family show, but it's still a musical. So it's kind of that weird hybrid. So I don't. That's why I think a lot of people don't quite understand what it is. But it's a musical with some absolutely beautiful music, and some great scenes. It's just so much fun, and I would defy anyone not to leave it smiling, and with a real kind of like skipping the step.
And also, I think something else as well. You mentioned it early on. There's kind of a connection with this impending doom with the volcano in the show, but obviously, in the last few years, we've kind of all lived with that ourselves, and with the situation. And I believe there's quite a few sort of references and jokes about, you've got the government on stage within Bikini Bottom town telling you, we know what we're doing, and they're bumbling about when maybe they don't know what they're doing, and they're telling you
don't quite know what they're doing.
Yeah, don't quite know. And they're telling you to stay home, stay safe, and all of these things that are just so familiar. So having that shared connection already with the audience, does that kind of make it easier? And is that
absolutely
kind of why?
And I think because of what we have been through over the last couple of years, I think people do find a bigger connection to it. So they go, oh yeah, well that's exactly what we had to do 3 years ago, and we've all got kind of mixed memories of the time, but I think we're at a time now where we can hopefully make a bit of light of it, because I think that's what we all need. Yes. After so many years of unknown, of the unknown, we didn't know if it was going to go, it was going to get worse, and I think it is time just to sit back and just have a good laugh and have a little laugh at it.
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
of the kind of ridiculousness of it. You know?
I know, right? Yeah. You look back and you're like, did that happen? Really?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Was that 2 years ago? Was that 2 years
Yeah.
of our lives?
Yeah. Oh, so this show, obviously, it was on Broadway and it absolutely floored everybody. It was nominated for more Tonys than anyone else that year, I think.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And it then toured successfully across the US. It's been brought over here where it's also smashing it. So it's got a real solid, foundation. So I'm just wondering, so not necessarily as you as an actor, but you as a fan of the show, if you had a magic wand and you could wave it and you could like dream anything for this show, like what would it be? Would you want it to go on to have a West End run, or maybe SpongeBob the Musical 2, or an international tour, or where would you love for this show to be able to go?
I would love it to get to as many people as possible, because I think it's, like I said, I think it has such a broad catchment, and it's just such a lovely show. I think it would be great. It would be wonderful to have a West End transfer. That would be really special. It would also be my West End debut. So fingers crossed.
Go, people, listen.
Yeah, please. And then to do an international tour would also be a dream as well. That would be wonderful. But yeah, I just hope the show just keeps going and going. And I really hope that it is one of those tours that just keep coming round, and people do go, oh yeah, we had such a great time. I mean, that was the wonderful thing about being on Joseph, and I was on Joseph on and off for almost 10 years. Wow. Well, actually, just about 10 years.
Yeah.
And that was the great thing. You come to these cities again and again, and you'd see the same faces, and they were so excited to see it, and because they've been waiting all year for it to come back. I really hope it ends up being that sort of show, because I think it deserves it.
Yeah.
And it is, and I suppose it is a bit over here. I suppose it would be a bit culty, maybe. Because obviously SpongeBob is massive in America, and it is quite big here as well. So I think, I think that would be really lovely, just for the show, just to keep going.
Just to keep going, and which I really do think that is going to happen. I really do, from everything that I've read about it and the clips I've seen, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
And I think as well, just to finish, that you don't have to necessarily know SpongeBob to come and enjoy this show.
No.
If you have no idea who it is that lives in a pineapple under the sea, if you can't answer that question, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're gonna find out.
I completely agree. You don't have to know SpongeBob or anything like that. You just come in, I would say, come in with a fresh mind and be up for some zany, wacky fun. And yeah, it was you don't have to know it. No. But yeah, I think you would just love it anyway.
Yes, it is. I think it's just gonna fill people with joy. And is that kind of the takeout that you would like people to take away from it, is the joy and the happiness?
Yeah. And like I said before, I think we all deserve a bit of joy and happiness, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to entertain. And you can't get more entertaining than this show, I think.
And I think that says it all right there. So thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been amazing. Lovely chatting to you.
Oh, you too. And come along, please swim along to the Opera House. Come along.
Absolutely. Come on down.
Come down. 16th to the 21st of May, where you can catch Richard as Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob the Musical. It is going to be bubble-tastic. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now, because
it is now. It's going into the dictionary.
It's going to be amazing. Oh, thank you so much, and the best of luck. We cannot wait to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.